The question is, how do you pick and choose when to interact? Yesterday on 16 in the afternoon, I heard some guy who was like, Roy, you're not that good. And you said, I'm really effing good. So
I am.
I know you are.
Really good.
I know. But when do you pick and choose when to interact with the fans? Obviously, there's playful banter.
Honestly, I'd say it's just on impulse. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm quite an impulsive character, if you haven't noticed. Sometimes I'll engage, and sometimes I'll catch myself and refrain. But I don't really choose when, and it's sort of sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Would you be okay with another Ryder Cup in this area?
If the result was the same, absolutely.
How sustainable for the game of golf is the level of abuse that you and others I know received this weekend? I mean, is it something that you just have to accept, or is it something that's taking the game in a dangerous direction?
No, I don't think we should ever accept that in golf. I think golf should be held to a higher standard than what was, than what was seen out there this week. Golf has the ability to unite people. Golf teaches you very good life lessons. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you how to play by the rules. It teaches you how to respect people. Sometimes this week we didn't see that. So. No, this should not be what is acceptable in the Ryder Cup. But we will be making sure to say to our fans in Ireland in 2027 that, what happened here this week is not acceptable. And it's, for me, it's, come and support your home team. Come and support your team. I think if I was an American, I would be annoyed that I didn't hear a lot of shouts for Scotty today, but I heard a lot of shouts against me. And it's like, support your players. That's the thing. So, look, it was a rough week for all of us. But at the same time, we shut them up by our performance and how we played, and we tried to, I chirped back a few times because it got to me a few times, but we tried to handle everything that came our way with class and poise, and for the most part, I felt like we did that.
Mike 12. You have a question?
Well, I was going to ask a similar question to Ollie, really, but when you've got police dogs and the police coming in, were you aware when that was happening? And have you ever seen anything quite like that on a golf course before when you've been playing?
Wish they had to let the dogs off the leashes. No, honestly, like the amount, like the police out there and the amount of the security presence was insane. And it's not, look, nothing was going to happen. Nothing was going to happen where there wasn't really going to be any sort of physical altercation or anything like that, apart from maybe Tommy and Rosie up to the 16th tee yesterday. But look, there was a lot of language that was unacceptable and abusive behavior, but look, it's a minority of the crowd. It's not the majority. The majority of people here are true golf fans and are respectful, and let both teams have the same chance to hit the shots and play a fair contest. But there was a small subset of people that behaved a little bit differently than that.
Up to 19.
Rory, it's one thing when the abuse is directed at you guys as players. That's bad enough. But it seemed to spill over to sort of friends and family, the entourages of you guys. Obviously, there was a lot of people inside the ropes this week, but videos come out yesterday of a beer being thrown at your wife. Firstly, is she okay? She seemed upset, obviously, after that. That's obviously something no one wants to go through. Yeah. What was your view on that situation and just, the direction of this event as a whole, with that in mind, that families don't feel comfortable inside the ropes?
I mean, it's it should be off limits, but obviously it wasn't this week. But Erica's fine. She is a very, very strong woman, and she handled everything this week with class and poise and dignity, like she always has. And I love her, and we're going to have a good time celebrating tonight.